this lecture, we'll start with the tree data structures. The tree data structures are non-linear data structures. We have seen so far the linear data structures such as arrays, linked lists, stacks, queues, and double linked lists. So these are all the linear data structures. Linear means the accessing of element in that particular data structure will be done in a linear fashion. So that is the reason we will call them as linear data structures. Tree is a non-linear data structure. Tree in the sense we have seen there is a there is a tree which is having some roots over there and some branches over there. So like that, the structure of the structure and arrangement of the data will be completely in the non-linear fashion. That is the reason we'll call them as the tree data structure. The advantage of tree data structures is the search time and identification of a key which is to be identified or which is to be searched will be searched within the log complexity. Where in case of linear data structures, the searching of a key will be done in the order of n complexity. So whenever it comes to the log complexity, the time complexity will reduce. So thereby, the search time will also reduce. This is what the basic idea of tree data structures. In trees, from the beginning of a basic tree data structure, there are several refinements was happened by adding several conditions to the general trees. Thereby, several new tree data structures have been evolved. On tree, if you place a condition, then it may become a binary tree or maybe ternary tree. Or on the binary tree, if you put some other condition like placing of element, then it may become binary search tree. On binary search tree, you may put height balancing condition, then it may become AVL tree. On AVL tree, if you put some other condition of the coloring and all, then it may become red-black tree. If you won't put a height condition on the AVL tree, then it may become splay tree. So like that, on tree, on several trees, several conditions were placed, and to get the arrangement of keys or arrangement of nodes in a sophisticated way for the purpose of identifying or for the purpose of searching the key as soon as possible. This is what the basic idea of tree data structures. In this lecture, we are going to see the introduction to tree data structures, binary trees, and its operation. Tree means a tree is defined recursively. Recursively, in the sense, we are going to define this particular the definition of the tree in a very recursive fashion. That means here a rooted tree data structure store information in nodes similar to the linked list. A tree is first node. Okay, that means here a tree itself is the first node, or the first node was what is defined, the topmost node what is defined is also called root node. Each node has a variable number of references to successors. That means here in this diagram you can see here two references are there to the successors, but in case of trees, one particular root node or one particular node can have any number of references. That means either it may have 0 references or it may have multiple references, maybe 10 references, 20 references to its successors. Each node other than the root has exactly one node pointing to it. That means except root node, means on top of root node, you won't find any reference. But for every node in this particular tree diagram, okay, for every node in this particular tree diagram has exactly one node pointing to it. You look at here, C was pointed with B. E is also pointed with B. Where in case of K, which is a leaf node here, K is also pointed with I. That means only one node should point to this. Only one reference should be pointed to that node. If these three conditions were satisfied, then that particular data structure is called tree data structure. Okay. So here we'll see some terminologies that are used in the tree data structure. But basically, how this node will be created. Syntactically, whenever you write in the programming, this particular node will be looks like our linked list node. In the linked list node, you have the next pointer, but in the tree data structure, the node consisting of how many references that particular tree is pointing to. If the tree is pointing to the 4 references, then 4 next will be there. If it is referencing to only if it is pointing to only 2 references, that is, if it is maintaining only 2 children, then it will be having the pointers such as left child and right child. Okay. In this tree structure, the topmost node is said to be root node. The intermediate nodes are said to be the middle nodes, and the last nodes are said to be the leaf nodes. Okay. The leaf node, in the sense that leaf node will not have further branches. Here the leaf nodes are D, F, G, J, K, L, M. These are the leaf nodes because M don't have further branches. Okay, so that is the reason M is said to be the leaf node. In the same way, D, F, G, J, K, L. Where in case of C, E, I, H, and B, these are the nodes are called as internal nodes. Internal nodes means those are internal to the tree. Those cannot be visualized outside because these B, H, C, E, I, these are the nodes were covered by the root node and also covered by the leaf node. So that is the reason these are said to be the internal nodes. Okay. Next concept is if for every node, the successor nodes are said to be child nodes. So B and H are the child nodes of A. C and E are the child nodes of B. I and M are the child nodes of H. D is the child node of C. F and G are the child nodes of E. J, K, L are the child nodes of I. You look at here, this I is a node having 3 children here. I is a node having 3 children. That means J, K, L. That means this I is a node consisting of 3 references. That is, each node has a variable number of references. That means A is having 2 references, C is having only 1 reference, and I is having 3 references. That means there is no restriction on the number of children per node in the tree. So a tree is a very generic data structure in which there is no restriction on how many references to the successor every node consisting of. So there is no restriction on the references to the successors. So far we have seen the topmost node is as a root node, and the bottom nodes which don't have further branches are said to be the leaf nodes. The nodes that are covered between the root node and the leaf nodes are said to be the internal nodes. And for every node, if they have successor nodes, then those nodes are said to be the child nodes. That means here B and H are the child of A, J, K, L are the childs of I, and for every node, if there exists a reference to the predecessor, then such node are said to be the parent node. That means for B and H, A is a parent node. For C and E, there is a parent node called B. For J, K, L, parent node is I. For F and G, the parent node is E, like that. M is a child node for which parent node is H. And there is a and if there exists nodes of which are belong to the same parent, then such nodes are said to be the siblings. For example, here B and H are the siblings because B and H are having the common parent A. J, K, L are said to be the siblings. J is the sibling of K and K is sibling of J. J is sibling of L and L is also sibling of K and J. The reason is J, K, L are having the common parent called I. So these are the terminologies we have seen so far. One is root node. Next is successor nodes are said to be child nodes. For any child node or for any node, predecessor node is the parent node. Okay. And sibling nodes are one. The nodes which are having the same parent are said to be the sibling nodes. Leaf node is one which don't have the further nodes. Internal nodes are one which are covered between the root node and the leaf node. The root node is one which is the parent node of all nodes. So these are the terminologies of a tree data structure. We will see some more terminologies in the next slides. Here, terminology, a node will have 0 or more children nodes. That means here J, K, L are the children. H is the parent of I. That is H is the parent of I and I is the child of H. So I is the child of H and H is the parent of I. Like that we will communicate. Next terminology is degree of a node. The degree of a node is defined as the how many number of children that particular node consisting of. For example, here degree of I is equal to 3. That means the number of childs that particular I consisting of. J, K, L. I is having J, K, L as the children. That is the reason the degree of I is 3. Now, if I ask you what is the degree of H, degree of H is 1. The reason is H is having in this particular diagram, H is having only one children. So this is called degree. Next is nodes with degree 0 are called as leaf nodes. That means the leaf nodes don't have further branches. So obviously the leaf nodes degree is 0. All other nodes are said to be the internal nodes, that they are internal node to the tree. Okay, here in this case D, F, G, J, K, L and M are the leaf nodes because its degree is 0. The degree is 0 means it don't have further nodes. All other nodes, other than the leaf nodes, are said to be the internal nodes. These here B, C, E, I, H are the internal nodes. Next, these trees are equal if the order of the children is ignored. That means here A is having children B and E, okay, it's fine. But B is having the children C and D and E is having the children F. Now these here there are two trees are there. These two trees are not similar trees. The reason is up to here those are similar. A is having root is root. Okay, it is having. B is also B and E are the children of A. That means a root is having two children, so it's fine. But for the first child, two children are there. But here for the first child, only one child is there. For the second child, here one child is there, but for the second child, here two children are there. That is the reason these trees are said to be unordered trees. We can say two trees are equal. If the root have two children, then the right side also, that second tree also should have the same number of children. And further children also, if it is having further children, for equal number of children at the left side and right side, and the second tree also should have the same thing. Then only we can say that particular trees are similar. For example, here I will show you one small example here. Similar binary trees given to binary trees T and T dash are said to be similar if both of these trees have the same structure. So these are said to be similar trees, ordered trees. Okay. A, B, C. Here F, G, H is their same thing. Okay, same structure. C is having left child, D, and D is having right child. In the same way, H is having left child and I is having right child. So both the tree T and T dash are having the same structure. That is the reason both these are said to be similar binary trees. Next terminology, the shape of the rooted tree is given as the natural flow from the root node to the just root. So from root node, how it will traverse to the leaf node. So first it may traverse at the left side, then it may go to the right side, then it may go to the left side. This is said to be a traversal of the tree. The traversal of the tree can be done like this. Either you may visit the parent first, then you may go for visiting of the left child, then you may go for visiting of the right child. So this is one order of traversing. Or you may go for first visiting of the left child, then visiting of the parent, then right child. Or we can also go for first visiting the left child, then right child and parent. This is what the various ways of traversing the tree. And next is a path is a sequence of nodes. So I want to know the path between A and G. So the path is a sequence of nodes A naught, A1, An, where AK plus 1 is a child of AK. Is the length of the path is N. That is, the path length is like A, B, E, and G. So here the path length is 2. That is from B, two edges are there. So the reason the path length is 2. That means two nodes are there between the G and B. So that is the reason the path length is 2. So this is the way how the path length will be calculated. That means the number of nodes in between the source and destination is said to be the path length. Next is terminology. The terminology of the depth. For each node in a tree, there exists a unique path from the root node to the node. So if you look at for A, from A to G, there is a unique path. From A to M, there is a unique path. Okay. So that means in a tree, different nodes may be at different levels. You look at M is at one level, F is at one level, and B is at one level, like that. So the length of the path is the depth of the node. For example, I want to know what is the depth of E. The depth of E is the number of nodes between the root and that node. So some people will calculate via edges. How many edges between the root node to that node? Like here edge means here this is the line. The line what you are going to write here is the edge here. So one, two edges are there. That is the reason they will call it as two, depth as 2. Or we can also say how many number of nodes are there between A and B. So two nodes are there. So the reason E has depth 2. But if you look at L has depth 3. That is A, H, I, then L. Or if you calculate the edges 1, 2 and 3. So thereby the depth is 3. It is just like a depth of a river. So the depth of the river will differ from place to place. At the beginning of the river, the depth may be very low, but if you go deeper to it, the depth may be differ. And if there exists some rocks or something there, the depth may be differ. In the same way, the depth will be always calculated from the top node to the node where you want to calculate the depth. Okay. If I ask you what is the depth of H, the depth of H is 1. The reason is only one node is there, or only one edge is there between the root node to the depth H. What is the depth of E is here 2. The reason is here two edges are there, or two nodes are there between the root node and that node E. But here the depth of L is 3. So that means the depth will vary depending upon the level of the node which is present in the root, which is present in the tree. Next is the height of the tree. Previously we have seen the depth, and now we will see the height. Height of a tree is defined as the maximum depth of any node within the tree. So in this, what is the maximum depth which is available in this particular tree? Here depth is 1, but at this level the depth is 2, but at this level depth is 3. So the height of this tree is 3. The reason is the height of the tree is defined as the maximum depth of any node in the tree. So please remember, depth will be calculated in general. If I ask you what is the depth of a river or a depth of a sea, okay, always you will calculate from the top to bottom. Okay, always you will look at the depth from the top to bottom. Where in case of height will always be calculated from the bottom to top. Okay, so what is your height means how you will calculate? You will calculate from the foot to the head. In the same way here also, height of the tree will be calculated as what is the maximum depth of any node in the tree. Now I think by this time you will be clear that what is the height of this tree. That height of the tree is the maximum depth of any node in the tree, that is 3. Okay, the height of the tree with one node is 0. The reason is the root node itself. Only one node means that is only the root node. For convenience, we may define the height of the empty tree is -1. That means if there is no node, that is if the root is equal to null, then the height will become -1. Simple. So here the ancestors and descendants we have seen. A is the ancestor of B and B is the descendant of A. That means if there exists a link between A and B, then A will become the ancestor of B and B is the descendant of A, or A is the parent of B and B is the child of A. Like that. The descendants of node B are the descendants of node B means here, like it is a hierarchy. Okay, it's like a family tree. There is a grandfather, okay, father, okay, parent, child, just like that. The descendants of a node B are B, C, D, E, F here. The descendants of node H are I, M, J, K, L. The ancestors of node I and H, A are the ancestors of node I and H. I and H ancestor is A. and B and E ancestor is A. F and G ancestor is E. Just like that. Another approach to tree is defined the tree recursively. A degree 0 node is a tree. That is, if there is no branches, only the root node exists. That is also the tree. A node with degree n is a tree if it has n children and all its children are disjoint trees. Okay, disjoint means which are not dissected from the main root. That means all are connected. Okay, all are connected. So then only it will become tree. And one more thing is, in tree there will not be any loops. Okay, trees don't form any loop. For example, A, B, E, F is there. If there exists a link between D and F, then it will form a loop. That is B, E, F, D, C, B. This is going to form a loop. Then if the loop is there, then such data structures are not said to be tree data structures. Loop may exist in the graph data structures, but not in the tree data structures. So that is reason we can say a data structure is a tree data structure. That particular data structure consisting of a root node and some descendant nodes, some child nodes, and every node should point to the only a single node, and there should not be any loops in that particular data structure. Then we can say such data structures are said to be tree data structures. Given any node A within a tree with root R, the collection of A and all of its descendants is said to be a subtree of the tree with root A. So this is what the tree data structure, in which E, F, and G is a subtree, and C, D is a subtree. These two subtrees were attached to the parent B. Thereby, this B, C, E, D, F, G will become a subtree. In the same way here also, H, I, M, J, K, L will also become a subtree. This subtree and this subtree was attached with the parent A. Thereby, the entire structure will become a tree with rooted A. So basically, where these particular tree structures are exactly implemented or can be visualized in our programming languages. The best example is HTML. Consider the following HTML document. Here, HTML is the top level tag in which you have head, okay, and in which you have title. So this head tag is open and head tag is closed. Here title tag is open and title tag is closed. And body tag is open. In this H1, this is the size of the text that need to be printed. Next, paragraph tag and underline tag and paragraph tag closed. So this is the HTML document in which you have the title, heading, body of the page, underline, paragraph. These are the various things you have. But if you form in a tree fashion, HTML tag is the root tag in which it have two children, that is the head tag and body tag. You look at head tag and body tag, two children are there. Okay, the head tag again consisting of title tag. Okay, this title tag was closed, so the reason this title, that means head is having one one child called title. Body tag consisting of one child called H1, and H1 is having further two children, that is text and underline. Okay, next body tag consisting of paragraph tag, and this paragraph tag consisting of some text and underline and other text. That means it is having three children. So in general, HTML, XML will form the will structure in a tree fashion. That is the reason processing of HTML and XML is very efficient. So if you look at .NET technology in Microsoft, whatever the things that you save in the .NET technology or .NET applications, everything will be saved in the XML format only. What is the difference between .doc and .docx? You might have seen in Windows, in the MS Office 2000 version, 2000 that is 2000 or 2007, before 2007 version, the documents are saved in the .doc extension. But in from the 2007 onwards, you might have seen the documents are saved with the extension .docx or .pptx. Okay. So what is this X means? Here it is XML. Okay. Whatever the document that you want to save, that will be saved in the XML format. So the XML format is a perfect tree structured format. It is more strict and more sophisticated mechanism than the HTML. In HTML, there is no rule that you can open the tag and you can close the tag. Once you open the tag, there is no rule that you have to close the tag. But in XML, once you open the tag, then you must close the tag. Okay. So in that way, it will form a strict tree fashion. Thereby, the XML was proved as more efficient in the document processing than the HTML. So the reason HTML or XML will be processed, not compiled. Okay, HTML documents are processed and interpreted, where in case of code is also processed and documented. So that is the reason this HTML and XML, the basic structure of these uh, documents or presentations are in the form of trees. That is the reason tree data structures plays a major role, and it is very essential to learn the tree data structures for how efficiently we can process the data, how efficiently we can search the data. So that is what the basic idea of the tree data structure. Okay, so that is the reason it plays a major role in the programming, in the documentation, in the storing of the documents, retrieving of the documents, storing of the data, retrieving of the data. This tree data structures plays a very major role. So that is the reason uh, it is the intention to give you the importance of tree directors. What is the need of learning the tree directors? So the need for learning tree directors is to have the faster processing than the linear directors. The linear data structures are the single linked list, stack, queue, and many other things. So that is the reason uh, the tree directors are more efficient in terms of time complexity. We can process well. We can search the trees as soon as we can search an element in the tree as soon as possible. The reason is the search time will decrease as the height decreases. So you look at, if the height is too long, then search time may go somewhat lengthy. But if the height is too short, and if they have more number of branches, it is very fast to search. This is what the basic idea of tree directors. So usually how these particular tree directors are implemented, that is by using pointers. Okay, using pointers, and A has a pointer to B, C, D, and B has a pointer to E, and E don't have any pointer. So it is just like in single linked list how you have used the pointer called next pointer. In the same way, A has three pointers. One pointer is pointing to the B subtree, another pointer is pointing to C, another pointer is pointing to D. Adding a child node, create a new child node, add a pointer to this child in the linked list of its parent. So create a child new node, whatever the node you want to create, and point this A's next. Okay, A's next to B. It is just like a single linked list. How you will say head node next is equal to something. You will store the head in some temporary and you will traverse temp is equal to temp while temp not equal to null or temp next not equal to null. You will traverse the temp value, temp is equal to temp next. You will go till the end of the list. There you will create a node and attach to the temp next. Just like that, we should also use the creation of the node and attaching to the root nodes. Next is deleting a child node. So deleting a child node is a very difficult task. The reason is if it is a leaf node, we can directly delete it. But if a node consisting of left and right child, or if a node consisting of children, then if you directly delete that node, these children will become orphan. So that is the reason we must take care of the node which is to be deleted, whether it is a leaf node or if it is having one children or if it is having two children or if it is having many children. So these conditions we need to check before deleting a node. So we'll see via coding in the next lectures that how we are supposed to consider deletion of a node, insertion of a node, and how to traverse the entire tree, and many other details we'll see in the next lecture.